Welcome to Ballroom Dance Chat. My name is Mario Skonieczny, and today is August 22nd, 2013, and I have with me online Vitu U, who is the founder of a Line M clothing company. The reason why I have him on this show is because I personally use his product, which is Latin dance pants, and I found it really comfortable. And I thought that I would bring him on to chat a little bit about his company and about his pants because I think a lot of Latin dancers as well as smooth dancers would benefit from this product. So, without any further delay, welcome to the show, Vitu.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so Viti, tell me a little bit about your company, Line M Clothing Company. What is this? Why did you start it? Was it started out of frustration? Tell me your story.
Uh, Boy, I started dancing pretty late actually in college. I think maybe my sophomore year in college. Um, and I started, you know, doing competitions and teaching things, and everybody I saw had these cool pants on, and I was like, oh man, I gotta get me some cool pants. So I tried like a whole bunch of different places. I tried ordering like custom made things online. I tried uh, like going to competitions and then putting in orders like with different vendors at competitions and stuff. And um, what I got back was never really what I wanted, even after paying like a lot for it, especially for like custom made stuff.
So what,
Um,
what was the problem with these pants? I know they were expensive because I tried that route too before I came to your site. But what was the problem in terms of quality?
One of them, for example, the fabric was like really itchy, and the cut was like what you would see in the early 90s. So like they never really updated their patterns or their cuts. And they had like Velcro for the closure, and it was just weird. That was my first experience, and that was like 300 bucks. And then the second $300 experience, I don't even remember the vendor, but they actually forgot about my order. So it was like 3 months before I got the pants. Um, and they fit pretty well. Like the quality was pretty good. The construction was pretty good, but it was, I mean, it was just like a 3 month wait, and you know, so that's kind of what soured me on that.
So So you were dissatisfied with various different vendors, and then you decide to form your own clothing company. So how did you? I mean, did you look for fabric? How did you come up with? I mean, did you have sewing experience?
No. I, we, there's a book that I had read around that time. It was Tim Ferriss's 4 Hour Work Week, and it just got me thinking. What are some products that I'm frustrated with, or I feel like there would be a better way to do it? And dance pants were one of the first things that I could think of, and I was like, well, why not? Um, because it's gonna. My idea was I had a specific fit in mind, and everybody's body is a little bit different, but by the time you just buy something off the rack and then take it to a tailor and have it altered, it's still going to be much much cheaper, much faster, and than trying to do it the custom route. Or yeah, so basically that's how I came up with the idea, I guess. I didn't have any sewing experience. uh, we had to learn a lot in terms of the right kinds of fabric to find the we had to find different pattern makers and costume designers and stuff and get their input, and then they designed something from scratch based on what I was telling them that I was looking for. And lots of fittings, lots of very expensive lessons later. probably a year and a half's worth of lessons later, we finally, you know, started to get on a roll with our product. So,
Well, this is one of the things that I personally like about your product, and I have two pairs of your pants. That the fabric feels fantastic. Just like you said, with other pants that you tried, I also had the same experience that they were very itchy and uncomfortable. But the uncomfortable part, I would have dealt with it, but they were very itchy, especially when I was doing, rounds and I would sweat. It would just be really uncomfortable. And then when I tried out your pants, they weren't itching. And another thing that I liked about them is that they were stretchy because my weight would fluctuate from time to time. And when I
doesn't
ordered, you know,
fluctuate from time to time.
yeah, yeah. But the thing is that when you order reg, when I order regular pants from some other providers, they weren't stretchy. So, and I would gain a little bit of weight. I couldn't buckle up. So that was that was a problem. So that's what I really appreciate about your pants. But walk me through it. Like, what kind of fabrics did you look at, and how did you finally set on picking what you picked, or do you that when you have your pants, do you only use one kind of fabric, or you offer more than one choice?
We only use one kind of fabric, and this was a growth experience as well. Initially, we started the idea in Indiana, and there's not a whole lot of fabric shops and fabric choices, so we kind of ordered a lot of samples online, and it was very difficult. It didn't really take off till we moved to the East Coast, Philadelphia, New York, being able to find things, and even then, um, it really was just a process of looking for exactly what you want. Like, one of the things was I really wanted to be proud of what I was selling
Hmm.
versus like just making money off of it. Um, and so the fabric was really difficult to find. But within the past few years, we finally found this one that we've been using for a while. Um, and it was great. The thing with fabric in the United States is a lot of the places you go, they buy the end of lots, so you can only get something for, you can only get 100 yards of something and then it's gone forever. But we luckily we found a place that can produce the same stuff over and over and over again. um, but it's also an expensive fabric, um, which is why I guess it feels richer. But um, another thing I was looking for was low maintenance. It's like, I don't want to dry clean stuff. uh, I
Right.
just want to, especially if you're sweating in it, and especially if you're a teacher or you're using it as practice wear, you wear it every day, or not every day, but you're wearing it multiple times a week. You want to just be able to throw it in the washer. So we had very specific requirements that we're kind of looking to fulfill with the fabric. Does that answer the question? I felt I was rambling, but
No, 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 no. This is nice. Who would you say is your market for your product? Do you target it more towards people who teach lessons or practice, or do you have some people that actually use those pens for competitions?
um, it's from experience, it's across the board. Um, we we have a lot of teachers that buy, because it's I mean, to be honest, it's a cheaper alternative than like teaching in custom pants every day, all day. I mean, how many pairs do you go through a year? If you do that, it's going to be a very expensive proposition. So we have a lot of teachers. We actually have a lot of collegiate competitors um, that purchase from us. Like, a lot of teams purchase in bulk, um, competition teams, things like that. Because,
I,
like
I
I said,
if
yeah.
I may interrupt a little bit, I personally recommended your product to Notre Dame University Ballroom team.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, I stand behind it because I use it, so I like it. That's why I'm interviewing you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for doing this commercial for us. This is awesome.
Yeah, no problem.
uh,
I mean,
um,
it's not so much about commercial as it is. I truly believe your product is good, so I wanted to bring you on and for you to tell your story.
Well, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm glad you like it. And it's always nice to get emails from people that uh, generally we get we get some pretty good emails from time to time.
But you offer, from what I understand, on your website, when you originally started, it was just one pair of pants, one style. But now I noticed you have three different variations. I mean, they're very similar, but talk to me about those little differences.
Yeah, the fit is the same. The pattern that we use to cut out the fabric and everything is the same. It's just one of them. Uh, one of them is your basic Latin pants, just black. The other one is tuxedo, so it has a satin waistband and satin stripe down the
So,
side.
so that's for smooth.
Yeah, I mean, it can be used for Latin too. A lot of Latin competitors use that kind of like tuxedo look, I
Okay.
guess. So either way, um, they're both designed to use either one. We used to have a smooth style, but um, a lot of people, it wasn't a big seller. A lot of people just use the Latin for both,
Hmm. And
especially for smooth. It's not like standard, it's not as strict in terms of like the cut and everything. So
right. And what's the third variation?
uh we're actually phasing that one out too. It's just it's the same as our basic pants, it just doesn't have the belt loops on it. um but we found that, again, most people just ordered the basic one because the belt loops, especially when you're on stage or when you're on the floor, it's not really noticeable anyway, and
Hmm.
it's just nice to have it if you want to wear a belt. And if you really hate them, I mean, you can cut them off. it's it's pretty simple process.
Right. Great. Okay. Vidi, thanks so much for doing this with me. So tell our listeners, number one, how they can uh, order your pants, what websites they can go to, and maybe phone number, email, how they can reach you, and maybe what price you're selling your pants for.
Okay. The website is mensdancepants.com. Pretty easy to remember. The price right now is $85, free shipping. There's also a 110% guarantee if you don't like them within 60 days, as long as you don't like put cat hair all over them and like cut them up and stuff. As long as they look new, send them back in 60 days and we'll refund you 10% on top of what you paid for it. Um, yeah. And then mensdancepants.com, email address info@mensdancepants.com. Um, and yeah, email is probably the best way to reach us. But yeah,
All right,
that's
great. Vidi, thank you very much, and I hope people will find it beneficial. So have a good rest of the week.
all right. You too. Thank you.